so that's life. But I do believe that we are live. It's just going to take a couple minutes to go in there. I hope that we're doing this right because I haven't streamed on a delay in a long time. But
I
Katie,
know.
we're here, we're live, and I think we're in color eventually.
I know. We're here. It's LCCC season, this is my first time. This is not your first time because you literally played yesterday, right?
I did, and it was fun. It was a really good time. It was a good experience for me because I had not played in an LCC game. I've casted them with you, or not with you, but with
Yeah.
others like you, and a
With your
couple different
peers.
ones with our peers. So it was nice to kind of experience and play it for sure. Today we have Thiago versus DKP. This is a world class cards mirror clash. How are you feeling about that?
I mean, this is very exciting. I mean, DKP is, the reigning world champion, but Thiago, he's an up and comer in the sense that he busted onto the scene and just made everybody go, "Who's Thiago?" and was whispering in the streets, and so now he's a household name. So it's very very exciting to see these two, rivals but teammates. The plot couldn't get better.
Yes, I do love it. There's a couple of these in the round one LCC, so it's nice to see kind of everyone getting into it, having the banter go. It's always fun to like have all those things going. So, gotta love it. While we're here, before we don't want to keep everyone waiting too long. So how about we take a look at the decks today? We gotta move you down a little bit here. We did something wrong. That's fine. Oh, we did it. All right, good job. We figured it out. So Tiago is playing the Brainiac deck. Now this is one of two Emerald Amethyst decks that are kind of floating around right now. Big key differences are the gigantic llama. Uh, how do you feel? I think you watched a little bit about of this deck at the DLC Bologna. That's where it was definitely featured. It might have also been on camera in Milwaukee. I don't remember. But how you feel about Brainiac?
I assume it's Brainiac because looking at these cards, I'm like, okay, you definitely need to make them vibe together. So I assume that's why it's called Brainiac. I know Justice was the one playing it. So did he name it? I don't know, but it's exciting. I mean, anything with the shift Cusco, I'm immediately a big fan.
Yeah, the thing's awesome. It's really great when your opponent does not expect it at all because you can just blow them out. And right now, there's a lot of gameplay that's kind of leveraging around one character in play for the first couple turns. So an early shifted llama can really damage the game for sure.
Yeah, especially because he is playing against a deck where you will be dropping, one giant heavy hitter at a time, and that can be all you need to get out of that situation because DKP will be dropping some absolute haymakers towards the end of the game.
I definitely do agree there. So with DKP and the Haymakers, Sapphire Steel, are you up or down?
I think I'm up on it. I mean, it is kind of one of those decks where it's like taking off a plane or a plane taking off, where it really you got to do that ramping and the double ramp, and so it's kind of scary to feel like the game's over on turn three.
Right.
But that is kind of how it feels. But if it does take off, my gosh, that plane is terrifying. So the top end is just all terrifying cards. I mean, have you played against this deck? Is this something that
Yeah, I played it in the finals this weekend. It was also in the finals of our tournament this weekend. We've seen lots of love for the deck. There's a lot of people that are excited about it. The one thing I'll say for sure that I'm not confident in is, this Sonic Warrior is the big difference here. That's a card that we didn't really see. We saw DKP talk about it in his top 16 run this past weekend from the CCQ he played in, but it's not a card that's very common in these lists. So it's nice to see some innovation already early on in week two.
Yes, and I love the Sonic Warrior inclusion because she's a princess. So already vibing with that beautiful new edition of Cinderella. And then it's just a little bit more pain and suffering with that for just 2 ink. For 2 extra ink, you can deal 3 damage. So it's really terrible to be on the other side because with hurling thunderbolts and strength rating fire is bad enough. Now you also get 3 more damage on top of that.
Agreed. Definitely fun. Definitely interesting. Quick shout outs here to both of the charities that we're playing for, the Palestine Children's Relief Fund and the Veer Profen. I don't speak German, but it looks like it's an animal shelter in Germany, I believe. Fortunately, the website kind of went to a link that I'm like, I'm not certain.
Yeah, right. I know. I was like, you know what? It's probably good. And honestly, I never realized how bad I am at other languages until I have to read just 2 words out loud. I'm like, well, turns out I can't do any of it. But
Very true.
But yeah, and I'm very excited. The charity part of it is very fun. I think that is a very exciting addition this season.
Yeah,
Or not this season, but
no, yeah,
every
it's pretty common, right? I think it's a big thing with Pavel and kind of like why he does these things. He's also always been known for it in the past, making big donations to charitables. So it's definitely really really healthy for all of our things to like have those things going on, which
yeah.
is nice.
It
Uh,
is because we like to win in the TCG world, but winning and then also being like, and I help the German animals. That's exciting.
yes, big true, big true. So just to shout out again here, this is the World Class Cards members. Both of these members are hanging out in Team World Class Cards, each with a qualifier already for two different, DKP hilariously from Germany is qualified for NACC, and Thiago hilariously from America qualified for EUCC. So they switch sides, but it's all good, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's very world class cards is truly worldwide right now, which is exciting and scary because it kind of feels like the Avengers. If you do well, then the next day it's like, and now you are the world class card. So it's exciting, but I wonder how much these two players, talked about their list beforehand. I think we heard right before Tiago said, "Hey, I'm playing Amethyst, Emerald," and DKB said, "Yeah, whatever." So you can't shake that man. He is untiltable, the untiltable player.
I do agree. All right, Katie, are you ready? It looks like our players are ready. I want to let the judge know that we can go. We're going to get into it.
Yeah, let's
All
do
right.
it.
All right, Ellie, we are ready to go. You can start them off. Thank you so much.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Will do.
so for people who are joining, you are going to see a screen and you go, wait a minute, why are these two players showing their hands? But that is a feature, like we mentioned, Pavel has made it where we have streaming mode. So we get the benefit of seeing the hand, but the players do not see each other's hand. I know that's always something I see in the chat where people are like, what? That's crazy. But it's the magic of movie magic.
Big true. Huge shout out, of course, to the judge staff. Ellie's on the case. She's here. Also, huge shout out to Thiago and DKP being on the right side of what I set up. Big win.
Yeah, right. That is always exciting to be like, thanks, guys. Thanks for knowing exactly. Because as you might not know, behind the scenes, Dan was doing all the production. I'm just sitting there drinking coffee as I hear just furious clicking. So shout out to Dan for getting everything set up in like 30 minutes. So
Listen,
that
guys,
is,
we are doing it live today. We're hoping it works
yes.
out, and that's all we're here for. That's what we're here
Yeah,
for.
right. And we have TFM Kylie in the chat. I like her. She might be my favorite member of TFM. I might be biased though.
She might be my favorite, and
That's
I
true,
am
right?
biased. So
Yeah, sure. You are legally biased, a legal bias.
Legally biased.
But she is wonderful. She had a magic backpack where you'd be like, I wonder if anyone has. And she's like, I have it. It's
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we see the players going ahead and doing their altar. DKP, I think, had his hand. He was ready to go. He was absolutely ready and rearing here. So he has got the Headless Horseman in his deck, which is such a fun card. It is chaotic, and I love a little bit of chaos in a match. But it is the one where you get to deal more damage. All the cards are, oops, more damage.
Yeah, my favorite about that card is I've talked about this a couple times on some different platforms, but to me, it is the biggest game designer's card. It is like the mini game with inside the game, and they love any game designer loves creating cards like this because you never know what's going to happen. It creates endless variance. It punishes certain players for playing certain combos in their decks. It just does so many cool things and interesting things that it really leaves that turn 8 play, or well turn 6, turn 7, whenever it comes out. It just creates this platform of like, hey, we don't know what's going to happen when we play this card. It could be great, it could be bad, it could be okay. And I really think that's a true game designer's card in any card game.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fun as a caster too, because I mean, and then to be fair, I mean, it takes advantage of the fact that there are lots of actions here in Tiago's deck. But Tiago, I mean, it's tough to say. JDC in the chat said DKP about to get blasted. Not gonna lie, respectfully. And maybe, I mean, I think it definitely all depends on one little duck there. I mean, it's tough to say all of it depends on it, but that Webby Vanderquack is super important. And do we see any duck children here? I
No,
don't see
I
it.
don't
So
see
that
it.
is
Yeah.
not a great start. Now, it's not 100% dependent, but that definitely helps, especially against these ramp decks.
Yeah, what's crazy is the 3 Amethyst Chromacons here. I mean,
That's
sheesh.
some might say you don't need that many. Maybe, this is not a Tamatoa deck, so we don't need that many items, but it is a card draw is at a premium in all the decks. I think both decks are relying on hitting their marks to get that card draw mid to late game. We do have Goliath added to the lineup here on DKP's side, which is a way to refill that hand if necessary. It's kind of the turbo dock, I think I've heard it called. But on the other hand, we were hoping that the llamas turn into cards. We were hoping that we get maybe a Chromacon. Now, 3, maybe not that many, but it is an option to keep that handful. And there we go. We have a little Webby here.
Yeah, we did find the Webby. Also, DKP hand looks like double Tipo, the Cinderella, the Spooky Sight.
Yeah.
So he has pretty much all the bars checked. Right? This deck just really wants to go 2-4-6 and kind of just say, okay, figure it out from there. And hilariously enough, with the hands that Thiago has, a turn 4 Goliath might be pretty problematic right now. He's gonna have to find an answer to that card.
Yeah, and Goliath I've noticed is a little shy. I always want to see him keep a check on these amethyst decks, but he sometimes gets a little shy. He is a gargoyle, so it's daytime. But I mean, that'll be very, very key to get out. But I mean, at least he has the ingredients necessary to get there with the ramp. I mean, it's very, very much. I feel like with Sapphire decks, it's very. Did you hit your mark of the ramp on turn 2, and then getting that Cinderella, and then getting some removal? If we can do that, then he can do pretty much anything. But the Goliath, I think, will be pretty important too in this matchup.
Big true. I mean, it just creates chaos again. Like a lot of what this deck is doing is creating those moments of like, hey, what's the best here? What's going to work out here? How do we interact one way or another? We're going to drop a big EU on the screen here, guys. So you're seeing me, we're learning live. Again, this is all live. We're figuring it out, but I wanted to just block the chat. Let Ellie do her thing and put the team EU underneath DKP over here. And we're getting into it. We got a turn 1 Webby, which means Thiago did get the play. I don't know. I don't know that it matters that much in this matchup. I think it would have been nice to be going second and say, hey, my Webby is like good right away. But I also don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, he wants to put that pressure on, and he has it. That is his turn 1 option. So you play it if you got it. And in this case, the pressure's on, and he has that Webby, which if he can draw into another one, we'll get that beautiful, beautiful Shift Duck, which has a beautiful characteristic of Ward, which is going to be very important in this matchup.
Ward's so good. Ward's so powerful. Also, you can see like the Prince John or the Prince Philip there that also has Ward. That definitely creates some moments that are really difficult, right? We talked about that Headless Horseman over there. That doesn't work. Can't hit the Ward characters. Thunderbolts can't hit the Ward characters. So can create a little bit of chaos in there. Ooh, early on, we're drawing cards. Love it.
Yeah, he says, listen, I have an Amethyst Chromacon. It's very cool. And then we see DKP draw. He hurled his Thunderbolt. So a fun fact about Cinderella, she loves to sing that song. It's one of her favorite songs to sing. So
yes.
Watch out. The party is starting, and that duck needs to get Ward ASAP.
WCC might win. Yep. Yes,
100% chance WCC is coming up on top.
That's a take that we can take. I will say, yeah, last night we were playing on stream, myself and Melissa, and I thunderbolted lots of genies with Cinderellas. So, yep, that's exactly what she does.
I feel bad. We're on a delay, and we do have Melissa upset that I did say Kylie's my favorite member. But in 5 minutes, she'll say, just updated. I just updated my standings. TFM, Melissa, new favorite member. Sorry, Kylie. But it's 5 minutes. She'll find out. But there we go. We hit the mark. We got Tipo on 2. It's what you need. It's what you want. And so I feel like Thiago is now on a clock.
We found it. We got the duck. And now
there we go.
This is what you love because this, the Chromacon drew the extra card. Now we get to get an extra ink. We get to just do so many fun things. And the big thing here is, not that I was really ever worried about this because of the shift targets, but Webby also becomes a, more than 3 cost character, which Spooky Sight can no longer hit, which this makes the Ward character even more, disruptive to the Sapphire Steel, kind of whole concept.
Yeah, now it turns into a challenge position, which unfortunately, DKP is not going to have any big beefy challengers for a little bit. Now we do see that Damari coming down, or rather coming into the hand, which could be an option. But basically, that Webby's going to be unchecked for a while because Tipo can't do anything about it. 2 Tipos maybe, but still no. So it's definitely one of those things where we have an unchecked duck here that's going to cause a little bit of mischief and mayhem.
Well, what's really fun here, right, is he's like, hey, you wanna gain an ink from me? That's fine. I'm just gonna play 3 more ink this turn.
Yeah.
That's a big turn, going up to 7 already. I think that's what he's at already, 6 or 7. That's just crazy. Like that was such a good turn. We sailed and TPO'd and inked, just kind of got all of it.
Yeah, and he's just basically saying, listen, the place I win is at the very, very top of the curve. So he's like, if I can get there, then I can get back in this game. But on Tiago's side, I mean, we see some very scary combos here. Now he is missing. Oh, did he just get dropped? No, that wasn't. So he needs that Prince Philip with that Malicious Mean and Scary because that is going to be a board wipe that you brew at home. But he also has Step Chaos on his track. Mother knows best. So Tiago just has a full grip of menacing things on his end.
Right, so you can see going up to the 4th ink there. We can also ink to 5, and then next turn, we can just try and find it. I think right now we can still play Prince Philip here. Okay, we're gonna be a little bit short, so maybe we're not worried about too much. What I'm worried about is Goliath. With this hand right now, we found it. Never mind. We found a Mother's Knows Best. All is fine in the world. Goliath means nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, Goliath is a temporary setback. We have some answers here. So that is, I think, do you know why it's called Brainiac? I just assume it's because you're just digging for mischief and mayhem. But I don't know the story behind it.
I feel bad. Justice is going to be upset with me. I do not know why it's called Brainiac.
I like it.
If anyone watching knows why it's called Brainiac, hey, let us know. Inform us.
Yes, I love it. A little in 5 minutes, we'll find out, and I do love that with a little time delay. But we are moving and grooving here. So I mean, Tiago has been slowly gaining some value. We've got that Akela coming down, which is another new card where you get to she's for a simple 3 ink. You have a 2/5, but wait, there's more. You can go ahead and pump her up to make her an earner. Yeah, she can be an effective challenger. So
Yeah.
this will be good for the big beaters that might be on the other side, but. I don't know. I mean, DKP needs to start getting those attackers down soon because right now it's just 2 T-pos, which are not known for being the most combat heavy characters in the game.
Yeah, big true. The interesting thing here about this card is like we had a conversation with it at our stream at our event this past weekend where we were talking about the Aquila and then saying it kind of just fills a role of just saying like, you know what, sometimes you can't answer big beefy characters and you can easily take a turn off to just pump your Aquila and then just banish the problematic character. And it's just weird to say that, but if it's an inkable card in your deck that has the ability to just take out high willpower cards that you're not super great into, I mean, great. It's inkable, fills the role. It does get on base, it quests. So I think it's a really cool introduction to this type of deck and the different tools that we're seeing in the Whispers of the Well metagame.
Yeah, and tools is definitely, I mean, he has lots of tools at his disposal here. We see 2 Amethyst Chromacon online, which now the more that happens, the more you're like, hey, Goliath, it would have been very cool if you're out here because both of their hand sizes are huge. So, I mean, the good news is both their hand sizes are huge. So they have access to a lot of options, but I don't know. It's definitely as the game goes on, I do feel like the momentum starts swinging in Tiago's favor because we do see those Mother's Knows Best, Chaos in his tracks. Do you think there is a way back into this game with this warded duck at this point? I mean, what do you think are some of the hits that DKP needs to get down ASAP?
Well, so I see a Bend to My Will in the hand for Thiago.
Yeah, watch out.
So it's got to be real quick, real fast. Which is the truth here. So I don't know. I think it's difficult. I think the position that Thiago is in is very strong, very powerful. I'm actually going through the paces of trying to figure out like what needs to happen for Thiago to even lose this game, which is kind of crazy.
Right. It's definitely that's like one of the strong things about his position right now is he just has between this duck that gave him Webby gave him.
Oof.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and like
Bend to My Will.
That's just it, right? Like Mother's Knows Best, the best card in play. Bend to My Will. Yeah, I think that we're in danger. I don't know how you can kind of come back from this. If I'm being completely honest.
I know, and it's so hard because as a caster, you never want to be like it's over. Because I mean, our job is to say how it's not over. Don't worry, but I'm worried, right? We have 2 T-pos and no cards.
I do have something to call out with no cards in hand right now. Have you done a lot of webcam playing yourself?
A little bit. I try. It takes a lot. So shout out to these players.
It does. All right, I'm gonna come hang out with us for a second while they're going through the paces of the mulligan or reshuffling. But yesterday when I was playing, you have to keep your hands on the table for the, for your playing hands on the table so everyone can see what's going on. So the whole time I'm just like looking around my desk, like what am I doing? Like I found dice and I was just shuffling dice just to like, because
Yeah.
normally you're so used to having the cards in your hand, so you have something to do. It was very difficult for me, and I saw DKP playing with his discard pile, so it made me think about it like, oh, how do you process those informations? Because playing on this is a different feel, right? Like it really is. These players are not always common to leaving their cards on the table and playing into a webcam. So finding a way to like feel comfortable, I think, is really important for everyone playing in this event this go round.
Yeah, I mean these camera games. I mean, shout out to this platform of Pixel, because I mean it is so nice to be able. Because I mean, you guys might not know this at home, but these players, they're not in the same room. They're on different continents. So I mean, it's very cool that you kind of can have effectively a real game without being in the same room. But it is just very, very different. Like you said, I mean, not being able to physically grip your cards and do the pro player master shuffle.
Yeah.
What is life? What
Yeah.
are you if you're not flipping your cards spectacularly while you're waiting to play?
I do agree.
But I mean,
it's fun though.
yeah, and I mean, you got to play against your own EU matchup of Lucas Kaupa, and you took home the win. So USA. So
Yeah,
congrats
right
on
now NA is up 3-0. Thiago's up 1-0 in the match. I'm not trying to throw shade at DKP, but he was talking some trash before the tournament started, and NA is looking pretty good right now. So
Yeah, and I mean, listen, we're a little biased, guys. I don't know how to say this, but I mean, nothing makes us more patriotic than like the Olympics, or in this case, the LCCC. Immediately, I'm like USA. But I'm kind of hoping we can see DKP take off here, because I do. I mean, as a caster, as a player, all of it, I want to see both players win a game. That's what we want here.
yeah.
So,
And it's crazy.
yeah.
That one ended real quick, you know.
It did.
Just kind of got there. Webby did the thing, and because of Webby, we were able to just really just be so far ahead. I think Goliath early might have helped, but I also, like we saw Thiago's hand, we knew that he had the Mother's Knows Best. He also had to stop chaos in his track, so. That's not as good against it, but the Mother's Knows Best would have been good. So there could have been an even bigger turn where, Thiago just goes, okay, I'm just going to bounce literally everything that you have, and then I'll bend to my will. So, yeah, it's really tough. I think this matchup is not a favorable one at all. Going first should help a little bit, because we see here, well, no, we don't have a ramp yet. So we have to find ramp off this Develop Your Brain, or this game might also be over very, very quickly.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons that Blue Steel or Sapphire Steel is one of the most powerful decks, but it's just frustrating because I mean it's so hard to feel like the game's over at the beginning. Like that's just a terrible feeling to be like, well, I missed turn 2, so it's over. But I mean, it's kind of how it feels, because I mean, if Thiago hits his mark, which is that Webby, and then he doesn't hit his, which is the ramp, then it does effectively feel like the game is certainly not over, but not doing great. Yeah. So it's a weird vibe to have, but it's unfortunately kind of the way that it is with these ramp decks. And not only do you have to hit ramp once, but you want to hit it twice, which is kind of a crazy thing. We used to have Pleakley, but now Pleakley has been jettisoned for the Cinderella. So he has that piece, but he needs to go ahead and get the second piece of the puzzle ASAP to feel like this is going to be a real game too.
Looks like Ellie is figuring it out for us. So we will come back to us for a second here as Ellie's going through the motions. Yeah, it's one of those where, I mean, you can have it go either way. I think a lot of the metagame, in all honesty, is really nice because it doesn't feel like there are crazy polarizing matchups, and it feels like you can kind of make the best of, like, as much as you can. I'm going to quickly unmute. I think she probably knows, but hey, Elle, we are seeing a white screen. I'm sure you are too, but I wanted to check in with you, let you know that.
Yeah.
So it is, well, we might be a little delayed here for a second as they work through it.
And honestly, I would need a moment too after DKP just did a Develop Your Brain and got a vision, and also a vision, which is truly brutal when both cards for Develop Your Brain is the exact same unhelpful card.
Yeah. And this is it, right? Like, this is the problem with Sapphire, is that, you can do everything you can to, like, create the best odds possible, and I think that's exactly what DKP had there. We saw 13 cards, I believe, missed, and then didn't get to the ramp on the Develop. And yeah, it can get kind of ugly here, specifically in the matchups that you're not favored in. If you miss, you're just going to be just further and further behind. And now we just have to hope. We have to, next turn, we need a Tipo, we need a Sally Azraite C, or the one jump. There is a one jump in the list also, so there's still 9 possible options there. So we're not dead yet, but we definitely need some help.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say that, I mean, The good news is that Webby is a little less scary because he won't have a lot of ink. The bad news is he needs that ink very, 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 very badly. So I'm definitely, this is probably not a time, like as we're waiting for, it looks like they're going to restart the system. This is probably not the time that
Come back to this then.
DKP wants to dwell on this hand, just to sit there for a few minutes and be like, well, yeah, this is not good. But yeah, I feel for DKP because, yeah, this is one of those decks that, man, when it fires up,
We'll take a
it's
look.
menacing. It's too much.
We'll take a look at the deck list again here. So you can see that he has the 1/1 jump, the 4 Sally Ezrite Seas, and the 4 Tipo. So, 9 outs left to hopefully hit it on exactly when to keep this game kind of in check. But aside from that, it's going to be a little bit tough because if we don't have that card, we're not doing anything in the game for several turns, and that can be a bit scary. There's also this choice, I'm sure you've seen it, the Sapphire Steel be played a couple different ways, where some of them have like some 1s and 2s that you can kind of get around and play, but not necessarily what's going on right now. So could be, not playing a card until turn 4 aside from Develop Your Brain. I don't think that's where we want to be, Katie.
Yeah, I mean, and it's we have in the chat we have a Blue Steel enthusiast create, which is Adrian, saying, "Where's Pete at?" And Pete is so tricky in this meta. I myself struggle with the benefit of Pete because it's like, yeah, Pete when you don't have him is the greatest card, but it's not fun to time it right now. I feel and even for me, it feels like it's a great thing for one turn, but you can't play Pete every turn. You're certainly not going to win playing Pete every turn.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like Pete. I can see why people cut it because it's good. But it's just not the way it used to be. It's not like stopping a Be Prepared. You have to stop 40. I mean, in his deck, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different actions. How do you time that effectively? I think that would be very difficult.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest unknown for a lot of it, whereas, before it was so predetermined. You knew exactly when to do it. You knew how to hurt the player the most, and now we're just not seeing that as often. So, while I love Pete, and while I think he's a great card, it's all about positioning in the metagame, and I'm just not sure how well positioned he is in the metagame. Yes, is Blue Steel getting wrecked? You guys are a little bit in the past, but so far, game 1, not pretty.
Yeah, and so, I mean, it's not over because,
we're back. We did
Oh,
it.
but can both players? The line is gone. Oh no! So Thiago just had to cover his hand very quickly because the line is gone. They joined in a way where.
Oh.
So, it was a sneaky show me more, an accidental show me more. But looks like they are going to pause and figure out what to do about that. Because as we know, a lot of things in judge calls are based on information gained. And so I think they are going to go ahead and go back to the table. Because basically for you guys at home, with when you join Pixelborn, like at home, it's going to look like this here. But for the LCCC and streamers, they have that mode that we saw before. So it looks like they're just switching back to the other table, which is what we're waiting on right now.
Yeah, it was actually funny. We'll come back to the deck list for a second. When I was like testing out the PB platform again because I hadn't done it in a while, I had forgot that the TFM has the stream mode enabled. So when I went into it, I'm like, oh, that's right, I have this thing. So I guess this is useful.
Yeah. And so it's definitely making sure you switch back and forth between the two. So I feel like in this matchup now, somebody pointed out in the chat, some guy, JDZ Quest. You guys might know him. You might know him.
I've heard of him.
Please, yeah. Goliath, because I think this is. Ooh.
We did it, Katie. We fixed it.
We're back. We are so spike.
I love it. This is again, we're doing it live. Thank you guys for all coming out and hanging out and enjoying this wonderful match by these Clash of the Titans. Thiago, new guy on the street, picking up a couple big wins.
Dan and Katie, if you are good now,
a couple big wins. So a little fun fact: Charlie's collectible showcase.
Thank you.
He won the last one, and DeCandio in the chat said he will come out of retirement if somebody takes the double back-to-back win. So if Thiago wins the next Charlie's, I think legally DeCandio has to come out of retirement. I don't know how that works.
Has to quit his job? That seems crazy.
Yeah, or maybe take a sabbatical.
Okay.
Maybe in Ravensburger employee handbook it says,
He
"Hey,
signs he signs a
it's
document that says he
yes,
has to give up all winnings, right? Like,
yes,
is that what it
yeah.
is? All right.
He has to go dunk on Tiago legally, but no, it is very exciting. I can't wait to see him and everybody else. Are you headed to CCS?
I am not attending CCS. I will be at the Pro Play Summit though.
Yeah, right. That is the tricky thing. They're right back to back, and I'm like, how do I do both? And but the thing is, that's CCG player life. You're constantly saying, listen, this money, light it on fire. I want to travel. So,
Yeah, listen,
uh,
there's some chatter about Singapore coming up. I wanted to go to Singapore, but it's Thanksgiving weekend, and I love my wife and my kids, and she would leave me if I went, so it
yeah, right.
couldn't happen.
I'm thankful for my family I used to have a year ago.
Yeah, yeah.
DKP didn't.
I did
Did,
ask. I did ask. I was declined. I won't lie.
yeah, you did. You submitted it to the HR. Hey, may I take leave? And the answer was lovingly no.
Ooh, so we
But
found the one job. We missed it. We did it. We did the thing.
yeah. Now it's not the best thing. It is like the worst case scenario for ramp, but it is a ramp, and so he didn't get to draw or do the vision, or rather sail. But he's hitting the marks now. He's back. The plane is taking off. It was scary. We were holding on to our armrest, but now we've got the
It's like he
Cinderella.
knew.
And
He inked the spooky site off the Cinderella. Just drew the other one. It's fine. It's
yeah,
fine.
right.
Had it the whole time.
Yeah, and that spooky site. Ooh, so the spooky site becomes a little bit of it can be good, assuming he gets it fired off in time, because it's one of those things that becomes less and less valuable as the game goes on, as we saw with that Webby. Once she ships, sorry, spooky site is over. But it does turn it into ink, which is something you don't necessarily want to give Tiago in this case. So yeah, spooky site is kind of one of those cards that's, I'm not sure, is his number one priority, but the board is getting pretty wide here.
What's interesting is that I would be willing to bet that Tiago purposely did this. I think he's welcoming Spooky Sight here. He's saying,
Yes.
like, you know what? Like, hey, if that's your play and you're just going to let me ram 3 times off these cards that I really don't need, I think it'd be totally fine. Because we can see the rest of his hand and it's all kind of bangers. So either way, I think this ends up pretty good for Tiago because he also has the Mother's Knows Best in his hand. So if we Goliath, that's fine. We can just bounce the Goliath. We don't care. And if we Spooky Sight, then we just get to have all these great cards go to the Inkwell and then just start, really just banging.
Yeah, it's kind of, he has the answers he needs. And yeah, it feels fun when you feel like you're like, am I being baited into this right now? And the answer is a little bit. So I'm very interested to see. The Strength of Raging Fire is another card where it's good if you have other characters, but right now Strength of Raging Fire hits for approximately 2. But he does get rid of that spooky sight, says I won't do it. You can't make me. But now he does have the ability to sing that strength if he wants to, but he's probably going to, let's see, hit that Webby, maybe?
Yeah, it's very possible that he actually hits the Cusco to remove Shift Cusco.
True.
Because that could be a problem.
He went with the third option. He said, I don't
Yeah.
care about both of your options. I'm going for Rafiki, who hits for 3. So
I
that is a
have
viable option.
probably been shifted on
Oh.
Cusco far too many times to let that card live. That's just where my brain went. Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, that's so fair. You showcased what makes a difference in a player who's played a little bit more because you said, listen, there's a shift Cusco, which is something we
Yeah.
don't say in every matchup. That's not
Right.
a thing that happens all the time.
Big true. Big true.
It's not something, but it is a problem here because it's Cusco with removal, which is something. Yeah, it's, you get to pick. So right now he has 2 characters on the board, but either way, he does go ahead and stick to his guns here and get rid of that Rafiki, which does swing for 3, which would get rid of that Cinderella. So he kind of says, "Listen, I want to keep my Cinderella," but yeah, that was what he elected to go with.
Well, the big thing about playing the Namari here is that it also offers the second Cinderella. And it looked like, I guess we didn't ink for turn and we just decided to keep our hidden ink and then ink off Cinderella. Oh, okay, we did ink. Okay, we just flipped it already. So I think that's cool too. It's just like, that's the big thing about Namari here is that this is a card we saw a little bit of in the Fable metagame, but now because it's Cinderella, it's just like, yeah, this is a slam dunk princess that we're going to enjoy playing.
Yeah, we saw somebody say, "Oh, the price of Cinderella is plummeting." I think Cinderella is just one of those cards where she's good, but only gets better. Every time you print a princess, the stock goes up.
She has an evergreen text on her of like literally says when you play a princess. So every single time, listen, guys, we're playing Disney Lorcana here. I don't know how many princesses come out every set, but it's a lot of them.
Yes, I think the stocks are, I would invest in, there will be a princess every set. Confirmed.
For sure.
So
it'd be pretty hard not to.
So I think she's kind of like Dumbo, where by herself she's not necessarily. You don't play Cinderella and people scoop, but it is one of those cards that can enable a lot of degenerate behavior. So
Yeah, and the big stock is also Namari, right? Like, people are talking about Cinderella's stock. How about Namari? She raised quite a bit over the weekend
she did.
because of, Sapphire Steel. So, listen, market swings happen early often in metagames, so it's not too shocking to me.
I will note one of my most shocking ones, Vincenzo foil went up to $40. So shout out to Vincenzo Santorini, the most beautiful Disney princess. But here we go. We're drawing and discarding. Namari does have that ability when you play her and at the beginning of the turn. So he had 3 Goliaths. You don't need that many. That's too many Goliaths. So he gets rid of 1 here. And now he just needs to go ahead and get some answers here. But as we know, that Mother Knows Best makes it where I want to see Goliath. We might get to see Goliath, but for only a moment.
I mean, the problem is DKP has 6 cards in his hand. So if he plays Goliath, he's kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
Which doesn't feel too great either. So it might just be like, it looks like he has a Tipo and a Sail. So this might be another like weird like ramp, and then maybe also play a Namari, like depending on how it all works out. It's kind of difficult to tell exactly. I'm no Sapphire specialist. I promise you that. But he's trying to figure out the math of like, how do I get the most cards out of my hand and then still play an impactful card? That's where he's at right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a problem. They generally don't. I mean, Sapphire Steel doesn't normally have this many cards in hand at this point in the game. That's why Goliath is so important, because they're generally getting to a point where they're dumping their hand, ramping, and it's a super expensive thing. But here we go. He's going ahead, getting that ramp and making sure his hand is empty, because we see why on the other hand, and that is that Clarabelle, who wants you to have a full and ample hand. So will we get to see this Goliath stick? Ooh,
yeah,
probably not.
I don't think so. There's a Mother's Knows Best and a You're Welcome in hand. So I doubt that the Goliath sticks around unless, Thiago finds a way to drop his hand also, which doesn't look super likely in this moment. So I have a feeling that we're just going to have Donald probably go on a singing adventure.
Yes, our favorite singer here. And we're going to go ahead and see where he hits that strength. And he does say, okay, I listened to you. I think Cusco scares me too, which is hilarious.
Right on time. Right on time.
Yeah. Right off the top rope.
Could have been scary.
Yeah, the most menacing llama in the entire game is that shifty duel.
Can I quickly point out something that I don't think was going to happen, but I do think it's kind of funny? If the Goliath were to be exerted, the Donald Duck actually would prevent it from readying. Because if he decides to draw a card with Donald, he'd have 3 cards in his hand. I just think that's really interesting gameplay.
That is, yeah. And maybe that's why it's called Brainiac, is because you do need a big old brain to think about some of these interactions of when you're drawing cards, when it's beneficial. And in this case, he's filling up TKP's hand and making it where, like you said, I mean, that Goliath, he cannot ready. He's got that stone by day.
Yeah.
So
it would be funny
very interesting.
If there was just like any exert card that was played this turn and just exert the Goliath and be like, yeah, whatever, man. Just let that sit there.
Yeah. Sorry, he is now a statue forever.
Yeah. Flavor text would be no more, which I do love that. So obviously, Thiago has 9, 8 cards in hand, like a million choices. And it all starts with, how can I get around Goliath? What is the importance of it? Could not find a Webby. I think he would have loved to be able to find a Webby here also, because I think that would make things a little bit easier for him. Get an extra ink this turn. And that might be what this game is actually about here, is this idea that, Thiago has 8 cards in his hand, but only 4 ink. And, aside from the song and play a card, he really can't do that much. Kind of difficult. You're seeing the other side of this deck here for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, he doesn't have, because I'm trying to see, he finally has that, or he has a Prince Philip. So as he gets up with that, he only has 4 ink. So yeah, that is actually, like you said,
right. Like, it's kind of difficult.
The problem is the problem.
It's a little weird. And he has to decide. Did he freeze? Is that what happened here? I feel like,
yeah, I don't know, or he's just really tanking. He's just in the deepest of tanks. But I don't see any movement over there. I guess I forgot that.
I'll try and confirm Frozen Cameron or not from our judge here. I'm not sure.
Yeah, what's up?
I guess I forgot. I was like, yeah, he's really
Thiago frozen, or is he just stuck in time?
He is just stuck in time.
Okay,
he is thinking very hard.
Good. Thank you.
Is he moving for you now?
Is he frozen?
Okay, cool.
All right. Ellie from the top rope. Thank you so much. Uh, we just weren't sure. He just didn't move. We'll take it.
He was using the Brainiac. He's like, listen, so Jack is called Brainiac because you have to know when I'm firing off this mother knows best. And he said, now is the time. And here we go. He is going.
So I love this play, and he gets rewarded because there's not a spooky site. And I think that that's a big deal here, is that if spooky site happened, he would just lose his whole board, and he'd have a lot of ink, but he'd be way lower on resources. So kind of nice.
Yeah, and there we see another one of those. You have to make a choice, and it's tricky because DKP has a pretty nice hand right now, but he knows that Thiago probably has a pretty nice hand. He knows he probably has a shift Clarabelle, so that Beyond the Horizon I think is interesting because you can say discard your hand. I don't like what you have. Go ahead and get 3 new cards, but that means that he would have to decide if he wants to do that himself. Which he has quite a nice hand with lots of great options here, and he's deciding, do I want to drop this Hades? What do I want to do with this clutch of cards here?
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to the chat real quick. Again, I set this up this morning, and I forgot to add the winner margin. So, my bad. We'll work on that. Katie, carry us for a second.
All right. So, we are looking here at the decision point of we've got a little Tipo. We're keeping that ramp party going. He says, you know what's better than ramping once? Ramping thrice. And here we go. He's looking to decide a little bit with this Cindy. He goes ahead. Oh, did he go ahead? He did some challenging, which is something you don't see every day, is combat princess battle here. And then we're going to go ahead and get that Vincenzo Santorini down. He's going ahead, and it is time. Is it time for Beyond the Horizon?
So he's going to be on the horizon. My question is it both players?
I know. He gets to make that choice.
It looks like he is, which is a good setup because we get rid of multiple shift targets and the You're Welcome. And you definitely disrupt your opponent quite a bit there. It's something that the Emerald decks are not crazy happy about seeing. The bad news is we got basically the same cards back.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he looks like he chose Thiago, but not himself. It was just he said, "I will not be drawing through it," because he kept his Hades, right?
Yeah,
That's
unless, there's no way he just drew 2 more Hades, right? Like...
Yeah. So yeah, he said, "Listen, this is your Beyond the Horizon," which is scary, right? Because I mean, he got rid of that Shift Clarabelle, but he still got some other good cards, and that's kind of the problem with this deck is it's designed to do lots of mischief. So yes, the Clarabelle's gone, but we see that Prince Philip, but we don't have the Malicious Mean and Scary combo, which would be very, very, very nice. Now, unfortunately, he's at 5 ink. He needs a way more ink in order to pull off that combo. So, or rather, he has shift though.
No, yeah, he had the shift there, so he could have had it if we were fortunate, but it's not there. So we have to slow down a little bit. The good news is the DKP is only on 2 lore, so this is like a clash game here. DKP is at 10 ink. We did find a Webby, so if we want to, we can kind of like get an extra ink there. Of course, we're going to be sacrificing the Webby at that point. But, DKP having 3 cards, 4 or 5 cards in hand now. I forgot there's a Donald, or was there a Donald? No, there's just two Chromicons, no big deal. Like, the idea that you could have to kind of find a way to catch up. If he had the Malicious Mean and Scary, yeah, that would have been great. That would have been the best thing ever. But it also, it wouldn't have been too problematic as DKP, like his hand is like good recovery, and Thiago is also not necessarily pressuring their game yet. So really, Thiago's looking for the combo pieces to end the game, and he needs some more ink to kind of get up there. So the next couple turns for Thiago should be quite interesting to navigate.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely needs to stabilize a little bit because as we've seen, the Haymaker party has started with, we have that Cinderella just taking off into the Namari, and then my favorite princess of Vincenzo Santorini.
Yes.
So, but the problem is there's not a lot of wide. I mean, the only person in this matchup that can do the wide removal is Thiago and that Malicious Mean and Scary combo if you can pull it off. Otherwise, we see DKP has to work a little bit harder. And that being said, he has wide board removal in the sense that he can just absolutely sing those thunderbolts, have the, access to Ariel. If he can get that down, that is a big problem. So he has board removal just in a more expensive and devastating way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like basically what I was really trying to get to is that Thiago, he's not under any pressure.
Not yet,
like,
no.
Even, let's just say, he does nothing like that important this turn. Okay, we just got rid of we did some stuff. I'm not sure what happened there. We banished the Cinderella though, so that makes sense. the point that I'm making is that he could just go, ward character, and have the board, and then like just that's it, right? Like even if DKP gains 6 lore next turn, like okay, he goes to 8. My 2 best characters that I need for my like wombo combo have ward, and he just doesn't have answers for those cards.
Yes. Yeah. So Ward, good. Now that being said, Ward is not a. You do have to turn the card sideways to win the game. So the minute it turns sideways, they are in danger territory. But yeah, I mean, he's like you said, the pressure is not on yet. He just has to go ahead and luxuriate in the board state that he has and build up. More ink. He's still at 6, so we're still, kind of waiting for the puzzle pieces to come together. He may even, you're welcome onto himself if he gets desperate enough, but we will see how desperate he gets for cards because it's 2 Chromacons, so probably not that desperate.
Right. Well, I think that's the hope here is that with the 2 Chromacons, we're gonna draw 3 more cards next turn. I don't even think we necessarily need anything like we honestly just 1 malicious, mean, and scary, and the game is over. Not over, but it's gonna feel really bad. Because once you turn sideways in that play, there are no rush characters in Sapphire Steel that's going to, like, compete to the board at that point. So I do think that this is correct. It's funny that we had to play the Hades to get rid of, a 1-cost character. But it's just what had to happen, because he has to turn sideways, he has to win. Now, Thiago, this is the only kind of pressure point where he's like, okay, I have 3 cards to draw to find the card I need to win the game.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of, here we go. And no, he does not get it here. And so the good news is that if you have warded characters, you can't get to them, but you can get around them. So now we just have these 2 warded characters that if you eat up all the characters around them, then suddenly they become a lot less valuable because you have to do something with them at some point to win the game.
Yeah.
So
funny play we could see here. We could see Webby sing "You're Welcome" onto a Chromacon.
That is true.
That would be a bit different, but it'd be interesting, and it would be like an out to try and find malicious, mean, and scary. I don't know exactly if we're in that position yet because next turn we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lore, which goes to 16. So there is potential, but I don't know if we have to just straight up stop the breaks yet.
Yeah, and with the shift cost of 6 and then 3, I think because if he does that, then he can't do the combo this turn.
No, he can because we can just sing with the prince.
True. Okay. Yeah. So it'd be all hands on deck for that play. But man, that is definitely you got to do it and it's got to work because
I mean, if you don't do it and you miss, that's probably the game. But the truth is that if in this position, it might be like, hey, this might be the game anyway. The other option is you can actually just pay for it. Which is what's happening. So because we can still ink this turn. Oh wait, no, we can't shift though. That makes me scary. So we're just delaying. That's all we did. We took some lore off the table. What I find most interesting is that he didn't take the 3 lore off the table. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he went ahead and it was, oh my gosh, my brain here. It was Hades. He got rid of the Hades.
Oh no, spooky sight, we're in danger.
Yeah, right? Because I mean, it's expensive to pay 6 ink to get rid of just 1 character, but it might be what he wants to do here. He does go ahead and quest with that Webby to get that ramp ability. But yeah, I mean, that is very, very scary because now he can go ahead and challenge into that Webby and then do spooky sight, which is expensive. Like we said, I mean, it's 6 ink to get rid of 1 character, but knowing what that 1 character can do, now he can get rid of 2. So it's becoming a lot more worth it. So I would be scared if I was Thiago right now.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like you're welcoming the Vincenzo. Okay. Okay, so that's, it seems all good until we get spooky sighted, but it seems all good.
Yeah, right. And I think, it's so funny because you talk about spooky sight, like, it's not so good right now. But right now, it's the best it's ever been because that Namari can easily take care of the exerted Webby. And then for just simple 6 ink.
I was just going to ask, what do you think Namari's strength is right now?
I just say infinity over. Like I just look at the stack. I'm like, enough. Whatever it is, enough.
I tend to agree. I'm not even sure how often we've even been Namaring ability. That's just how quick DKP does it.
Yeah, I know. And that's something where, as a player, I always forget, you're supposed to monitor your board state. But there we go. We're going to go ahead. And he discarded the spooky sight.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it was a line to clear the board. And with low resources for Thiago, it might have been one of the better times to do it. But then again, Thiago's still drawing 3 cards a turn. So you got to figure that out too, right?
Yeah, so And he did go ahead and use his your mother, just mother knows best. It's not your
Yeah.
mother, but he has a you're welcome as well. So I don't know. I mean, it's tricky. He doesn't necessarily know I mean, he doesn't know what Tiago has, but knowing that Prince Philip, if we get the other puzzle piece, it'll be very devastating. But mind you, he only has 2 characters on the board. So not the most devastating it's ever been, but yeah, I mean, this is very, very interesting. And I kind of wanted a spooky site because it's fun, but it does give him 2 ink. And Tiago now is at 9 ink. We were at a point where we're like, he only has 4, but he turned that around.
Yeah, big true, big true. Um, Good news is if we, oh man, the DKP is just like he is just going through the motions.
Yeah, he's
he
going through
is
every card in his deck.
he
Filter
is
forever.
really just like, man, what do I have to do? How do I get back in this? What's even important? I think that's so interesting. So we draw. I saw a second year walk on there from Tiago. Lots of actions that can be discarded here, all to banish a 1-cost Webby.
Yeah, it's personal at this point. It's just saying, listen, that one duck, I don't like her. But yeah, with this headless horseman, you go ahead, draw 3 cards, and you're going to discard 3 cards, and then for every, is it non-character? Does that Chromacon do
I
anything?
think it's specifically action, but I'm not positive. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure it's specifically action. If
yeah, and so
I if I look it up, I'm gonna break everything, so I'm not doing it. So you can do it.
it is action. So
Okay.
yeah, that Chromacon, he is in the clear here. So now it's all on is he has 3 actions. So just 1. So he only gets to deal 2 damage, which you can do up to 12, but in this case, only 2.
All right.
But it's enough. It's enough to get rid of that
It's
one single duck.
certainly enough to get rid of the Webby, yes. And that was the big deal there for, obviously Tiago's been holding on to specific cards. We got Beyond the Horizons. He drew a couple more cards, inked some stuff. He made plays. So I think the Headless Horseman again is just the disruption that DKP is trying to say. Like, all right, how do I just stop myself from getting comboed? And I think that's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, and I mean, he did not get a Malicious Mean and Scary with the Headless Horseman, which would have been nice to see that go into the discard. So every single card he draws is one closer to that combo piece. So he's just gonna go ahead, keep ramping forever, ramp to the moon.
We might get to 20 this time. I have no idea.
He says, you know what's better than inking once? Inking forever. Just ink 2 times every turn. And so we have 14 ink on DKB's side, 9 on Tiago. So still pretty good for a deck with no traditional Sapphire ramp powers. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and challenge that Webby with the Damari as we thought would happen. And now it's just Prince Philip standing alone. So it is truly, do you have the ability to draw that Malicious, Mean, and Scary here, which would be very malicious, mean, and scary.
I will note now that we have enough ink to where we can draw with Chromacon, and then you're welcome a Chromacon, but we need to find like multiple pieces, and we didn't find any of them there. So if there is a world where you have to do that, you're taking your whole turn on a mega gamble. So I don't know if we can do that anymore, but we might just have to kind of slow down. Right now it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so we can go to 15. So there's still time, but how many more options are left, right? There's already 2 Prince Philips in the discard pile. There might be a Melissa, Mean, and Scary in the inkwell. Like it seems like we're running out of options here, Katie.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those things where you kind of go, well, don't worry, I'll draw it eventually, right? And then it's just not happening, which has to feel kind of annoying. Now, that being said, Tiago did have a spectacular game 1 with that bend to your will. So I think, DKP is probably not feeling so bad for Tiago not being able to find the answer here. But yeah, the pressure is on in a spectacular way. But the tricky part is, if he can keep this Prince Philip upright and he doesn't have any spooky sights in sight, then, it's not over. He just has to keep trying to get that combo piece, but it definitely is going to be an uphill battle because every card that Tiago or DKP can play is going to be punishing from this point out anyway. So I don't know. It's definitely it's just the momentum is, I think, firmly in DKP's court right now, but I don't know if anybody can pull it off. Tiago can, and he's definitely sitting in the tank thinking that Brainiac deck out.
Yeah, we know it, right? We know that this deck is not straightforward. It has a lot of choices. It plays with a lot of cards. So he has to just kind of go through the motions and figure out, like, hey, what do I have to do? The other notable here is we still haven't found a bend to my will either, I think. Now, granted, there are things that can be webbied because we only saw 1 webby quest, so it's not that many odds. But the point is that right now, it feels like Tiago's just trying to hold on, and he's really just going to have to piece together this combo to the best of his ability. We're going down to 1 card here, and it looks like we're even trading out the Phillip. So that is really difficult because now I'm just trying to see how we're gonna answer like the next couple. Like DKP has 14 ink. He's gonna have 15 ink. Are we trying to deck DKP? Is that what we're counting for?
I like it, right? He's like, listen, I know eventually you'll run out of cards. You have it all in your inkwell. I know that a third of your deck is in your inkwell currently, so it's a possibility.
Yeah, like he might just you're welcome him again, you know?
Just be like, you're welcome. Please run out of cards, DKP.
Yeah, it seems tough. But I will say, like now with only one card in his hand, if I'm DKP, I feel way better about just jamming big characters in play and saying, yeah, man, I think that your outs are like minimal, and I can start gaining lore pretty safely.
Now I looked away momentarily. The Prince Phillip, how did he go ahead and get sent to?
He challenged the Namari.
Nice. Okay, he said I'm going to do some cleanup here. So
yeah, so I believe Namari took out the Webby, and then Prince Phillip finished off the Namari.
Yeah, so he jettisoned the Malicious Being and Scary plan, and now here comes my favorite card from set 1 that's also set 9. It's the Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, who will go ahead and deal a nice even 1 damage.
I'm gonna apologize this strat. I've used all of our snoozes, and it's there. That's it. I tried, guys. I tried.
Yeah. Listen.
I tried to get it all. I'm so sorry, friends.
I know, and it's one of those things too where Twitch is not generous. It's very, very. It's malicious, mean, and scary.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We tried, but yeah. So this is where I'm at right now because Thiago. So we're gonna play a Tinkerbell. Which I think we already did, but now we're retracing it. We're thinking about it. What this enables is that with 14 ink, you can play Tinkerbell and Headless Horseman if you want. Just put 2 big bodies into play again, and then potentially just remove the Rafiki, along with Disruptin. The interesting thing here, no matter what, is that we're gonna draw 3 more cards from each player's deck, and we're getting low on cards and resources. There's the Bend in My Will that we were talking about. Which could be, if the Bend of My Will is the last card up, I guess it's kind of cool, but we're still really, really far behind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing that mental math thing. The Brainiac deck I've learned is probably called Brainiac because it makes me feel like I'm not a Brainiac. But here we go. This is my favorite part. It's gambling time, everyone.
I hope we got there, JD.
Okay, we got 2 actions, so that's a total of 4 damage already, which is enough to get rid of anything, but mind you, it's literally once again.
Oh god!
Oh. Wow.
Well, I will say that is the most banished Rafiki I've ever seen in the history of being banished.
Yes, it is banished to underneath the playmat. You have to put it underneath the playmat in that scenario. I think you cannot look at it ever again. But
the ads might have been great right now.
Right.
Good timing on ads.
Advertisements.
No, every time we do this, Thiago.
I know it chooses Thiago personally every time that it rebuffs. So I think Ellie might have to go all the way out and back in, but gives us some time to talk about, Sapphire Steel. We said, it has to hit its marks. I feel like it is hitting its marks right now and having its pick of pain here.
Yeah.
And
I will say that I promise you no one is missing gameplay. We just went to here while Ellie figures it out. She's definitely working on it, so we might just have to do a couple more resets here. This is such a weird game. This is game 2. Thiago won game 1, and you're kind of seeing like hilariously this Brainiac deck that draws 1 million cards be unable to like piece together the right pieces to like win the game. It's very interesting actually.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely a little bit it's interesting because someone pointed out in the chat, having Thiago's deck brick, which means he's not hitting all the cards he wants when he wants to, is a win condition for Blue Steel. But mind you, Blue Steel is still hitting its absolute pain and suffering that it wants to inflict on its opponent. But we've seen several turns in a row where like all he needs is this 1 card and he could do it, and he just hasn't been hitting that 1 card. So it's very, very interesting to see, but also I don't think Thiago would say it's as interesting. I think he's probably like, oh my gosh, because these games go over in 2 seconds, or they're going to last, as we see here, 4 hours.
Yeah, and they're working through it. They're creating a new room. They're getting it back. Hopefully, if you guys know, you're good. The ads, I promise you, you didn't miss anything. That was the best timing ever.
And shout out, we have 200 right now. I mean, it's a pass, but
Woo!
almost 300 people who are up and active and loose, as DKB would say. So yeah, shout out to you guys hanging out with the Friendship Mountain over here.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you. It's been fun. Katie and I found out bright and early this morning that we're going to be
Yes,
doing this. Shout out to Pavel and allowing us to hang out with everybody
I
and have some
know.
fun.
I woke up in like the middle of the night and I saw a notification. It's like, you've been summoned to the LCC. I was like, I'm ready. And so I changed my alarm and here we are. And we are back and ready to see this one duck against the world with pens in my will. I love that. Listen, I only have one card in hand, but I hate you and I shall go
Oh,
ahead and come for your hand personally.
interesting. That was the
It doesn't
lesser
win the
card.
game, but it does definitely put a lot of pressure on. So I'm very, very, very much.
Clarabelle Inbound Trust. That would be funny. Yeah, so this is a tough one. The Bend of My Will is really funny.
Yeah, funny, but not like great. It's not,
Yes.
it doesn't win the game off the top rope, but it is funny.
Like-
and that's not something we need in Lorcana, but I like it.
Because I'm pretty sure we can't play any more cards. We can ink one, which is nice. So we can ink an extra card. Because I think we did play both Tinkerbell and Headless Horseman this turn. So we're going to ink to 15 and then be like, okay, this is my army. Because Bend of My Will very likely does get fired off next turn, is my guess.
I mean, it's my only card. I'm absolutely firing it, saying, listen, I might be out, but I'm not completely out. But he is at a total of 11 lore here. If he gets this Headless Horseman, that can cause some chaos. But he also has, I mean, the Vincenzo, it's tricky, right? Because that Vincenzo in the Hades is not super tempting with the ward on the Webby. So he could play the Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, but I mean, I don't know. The Headless Horseman's looking pretty fun. He's had a lot of fun with it so far.
Yeah,
So
I think we everything that you said is what happened.
yeah.
Because he was already out of ink. And it just it just exerted. It's not exerted properly. So we're good.
Got
We're good.
it. There we go. I was like, look at, he could do all these things. No, he can't. It's exerted just only symbolically. And there is that Clarabelle that we were talking about, and also Prince Philip.
Oh, I love this.
And then a second
So-
Bend to My Will, and then also Bend to My Will a second time.
So DKP has gotten to the declining the Amethyst Chromacon phase of the game.
He's like, I'm good, dude. I have 40,000 cards, and you're about to play Bend to My Will. I don't know if he will. This is very exciting. I love when there's a card, and you're like, he wouldn't. Would he? He wouldn't. Maybe. It would be pretty fun. I mean, now that being said, it is counterintuitive for that Clarabelle, because if he plays Clarabelle, it is beneficial, but that Clarabelle will absolutely get Hades into the sun. So it's kind of you have to pick which is the most scary.
Yeah, it's interesting because we found another Philip, right? And because of that, it makes things quite interesting. Because now we can even, if we wanted to, we could just quest with Webby, get an ink, and then as long as, one of our next few draws is a Malicious, Mean, and Scary, then we have the ability to wipe the board again. So Clarabelle here, I think it's interesting because we get to draw the cards, but it's like you said, Hades, Vincenzo, there's just so many answers to this card. Like, I'm sure there's, even a Zeus could be rotting in the hand. Like, there seems like way too many interactions for the Clarabelle. But hey, man, we got to draw our cards. We got to get our combo as well. And DKP wasn't threatening the game just yet, but I think it's getting there. I think DKP is going to steal this one.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely been a series of DKP doing what he needs to do to keep the pressure on, and Thiago's deck doing exactly the opposite of what he needs to keep the pressure on. So I feel like it's not over, but it does. I feel bad that I was like, come on, spooky side. And they're like, no. And I'm like, come on, Bend to My Will. He's like, no. But I'm like, man, does that win the game? No. But I think we're almost to Scoop Town.
Oh,
we're not there yet.
So this is actually hilarious. I'm going to put the Headless Horseman in play and then hope that we just discard 3 actions in our crazy hands. We have seen this mini game so many times.
I love it. Yeah, it feels like it's kind of like Mario Party where it's like chance game. And so here we go.
Even this.
You get to pick.
I will say, in this board state here, probably not the best thing for webcam games.
No. You're
Like, hey,
what am I looking at here?
I have 9 cards in my hand. Which 3 do you want me to discard?
Yeah, right. Lefty, righty, and middly. But here we go. Ooh, Bend to My Will. So that's 2 damage. We're getting there. And then Prince Philip.
So
and
there's only 2. Do we, even if we lose the gamble, which we did, so we only have 4 damage, which is unfortunate there. Because it doesn't get to finish off Clarabelle because it only puts 4 damage on Clarabelle. good news for DKP. I saw a Zeus. Oh wait, no, he actually discarded the Zeus. Hilarious. So now it's actually like, man, I did the thing, but now I have to play my Hades anyway, probably.
I did the thing, but at what cost?
Yeah.
But it's kind of a win more situation where he's putting on even more pressure and saying, I don't think you're going to do the malicious, mean, and scary combo. I'm able to quest here for a spectacular amount to get the pressure up even higher to, let's see here, 17. So, yeah, it's if you have the malicious, mean, and scary combo, I suggest you deploy it.
I think the third Prince Philip just got put in the discard pile.
Fantastic. So that is a problem.
All right, we did have another Zeus. That's great. So we just finished off the Clarabelle that way. And yeah, see you later, Clary. And I don't know. I think this one's pretty tough. It has to be exactly Malicious, Mean, and Scary and Prince Philip here in the next 3 cards. And if not, game is over.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the Headless Horseman as like a chaotic aerial Sonic Warrior. Like aerial Sonic Warrior, you have to play a song and then you pay 2. But Headless Horseman is like, listen, it's maybe Sonic Warrior times a million or not. And I love that. It's very, very fun. And we've got to see 2. And now, yeah, with 17 on the board, I feel like it's not over, but it's definitely the best position DKP has been in since we've started this match.
Yeah, well, it's funny because, Thiago's considering drawing, like, the cards in his deck, the cards in DKP's deck, if he has the ability to actually maybe deck him, which seems very unlikely. I cannot remember all the cards that are in the Inkwell for Thiago, so I don't even know if there is another Prince Philip to find. I think there were at least 2 Malicious, Mean, and Scaries and 3 Prince Philips in his discard pile, so we're kind of just praying right now, I think is the answer.
It's the checking the fridge situation where you're like, hey, do I have anything good in the fridge right now? And the answer is you have lots of good cards, but you need them to vibe together to make a combo. Yeah. And he says, you know what I just drew? Scoop.
Yeah, and that's it is. We're looking at the cleanup phase there. Go into a game 3. And it's funny because we talked about Headless Horseman to start and how kind of like it's creating this disruption, right? Like it is this ultimate mini game. And right there, I think we saw 3 of them get played. Maybe one got mother. I don't remember. I think it was at least 3 of them. But in all 3 of those times, it just presented this weird board state to interact with that just disrupted, Thiago completely. Like just every combo, every game plan that he had, just gone. Like he's just like, oh, I guess I got to start over again.
Yeah, and it was a very fun matchup because you got to see it was kind of funny because, they both were being control decks, and once you get to the end phase of 2 control decks, it's never really going to be quick, and so we saw that, the first game was over quickly. The second game, I don't know how long that was. I think it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it might have been... It was a lengthy one for sure.
Yeah,
but we also, for what it's worth, we did have like multiple pixel-born crashes, so like we had some technical difficulties that made it go long because I know that these players they're 2 of the best in the world, world class cards intended. So
it's more the point, I guess, is more of the fact that once you have 2 control decks that are doing the control thing, you're like, well, guys, buckle up because both decks are going to be saying no you over and over again. And we got to see that. And DKP won the actually no battle here. But I think Thiago now, he knows what's up DKP's sleeve. He's seen, I think, all the tricks here. We know about Sonic Warrior, the Headless Horsemen's of it all. We know that he does not want to play Spooky Sight because we saw him discard it twice. So I am interested to see how this game 3 goes, because if he can do what he did in game 1 and put that pressure on so hard where he goes ahead, ramps with that Webby and gets the bend to my will, that was a great way of making DKP say, well, a Wiedersehen.
Well, that's it, right? A card here, a card there, and I think Thiago is able to kind of take game 2. So that's really it was the difference of a card here, a card there, and kind of just like how disruptive the Horseman was in the game. And I think that's what we're going to see here now is how quickly can DKP ramp, can he get to those board states again where, you prevent Thiago from doing all the combo things.
Yeah, we see Thiago here aligning his cards by ducks, Prince Philips, and etc. So I really like this hands categorization here.
And I would take some notes there, right? Like the way that these players are organizing these altars, this is how they do that in every game that they play. So he's putting together combo pieces of just like, hey, like what are the combo pieces that I have? What are the ones that I'm missing? And I think that's very interesting to note to say like, okay, I'm going to keep, my ramp combo pieces. I am going first, but let's be honest, this Webby is going to get on base.
Exactly. Because, we know DKP, we saw him ramp, very, 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 very greedily, not greedily in a bad way, but making sure that he gets that 3 triple ramp here with double T-bows in for game 1. And I think game 2 as well, we saw T-bow twice. So here we go. We've got the develop your brain and sail to start the game. And then all he needs is just the rest of the puzzle pieces. All he needs is a Cinderella would be nice, but he doesn't necessarily need it. He just needs to go ahead and get to those answers. But with the Stop Chaos in his track in the Cusco combo, I don't know. I feel like Tiago's not feeling too stressed with the hand he has right now either.
No, I agree with you. I think Thiago's opener is spectacular, specifically in a world where DKP doesn't have exactly Tipo, because that means when DKP plays the Cinderella, if he were to find it, the Cusco just gets to take it away. And I think that's a big deal, too, because you just get to remove a card from the game and take off the Singer and things like that, just make it a little more problematic for your opponent. But yeah, I think after the altars, DKP's pretty standard Sapphire deck altar. We have the develops, we have the visions of the futures, we have ways to find the pieces we need, and it's just about can we piece them together to have our best turns.
And to anyone just joining, we are going into game 3. We had Thiago taking game 1 and DKP taking game 2. Thiago did go first. He won the die roll. And so we are seeing what he likes to do, which is a turn 1 Webby and then probably a turn 2 Webby. So we are off to the races here.
Yeah, there's also possible that you just play the Cusco on 2.
True. Yeah, he's not feeling a lot of pressure.
Right, don't get me wrong. I don't think there's any world where DKP doesn't always ramp, right? But when you play the Webby, you're definitely you're inviting your opponent to not to. But let's be honest, DKP's list, we saw it. It doesn't have an option to not ramp, so the Webby is just going to live the dream and get all the lore at once.
Yeah, the Webby's dream is to just be a ramp deck. She says, when I grow up, I want to be a ramp deck with no Sapphire. And Webby, your dreams really do come true.
Tough choices here for DKP early. Deciding to keep the second Goliath.
Yeah, and Goliath is, as we've seen, we talked about in game 1, how Goliath, we've been very nice at curbing the greedy nature of the Amethyst deck because he had 2 Crumbicons online and was just drawing 1,000 cards. So Goliath could be the play here. Now, that being said, DKP has had a pretty healthy hand size too. A lot of times this Sapphire Seal deck ends up kind of using all their cards really quickly with all the ramping it does. But the more cards he has in hand, the less he wants to deploy that Goliath. So it's very interesting watching the kind of dual-edged sword of Goliath in this matchup.
Yeah, big true. Really difficult there. You're having, Thiago's going through the paces, and it's funny, the hand looks so good to us, but every piece is kind of important. And I think we did ink the same card on turn 1 and 2, so I think maybe that was the problem, is do I want to get rid of my second Ekala and be okay, or is it I think this is it too, playing the Cusco line, getting it out there. This really just demonstrates more shift options very quickly to the ramp, and we're off to the races now because we found the second one. But hey, I don't see a Cinderella. No Cinderellas for our friends here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking here. Oh, I clicked away. Help. There we go. I'm back. Is that the thing where you click away and you realize how many screens you have up? You're like, oh
yeah.
No. But yeah, so now we have that pressure here. Like you said, he didn't feel it. So he's like, I'll get my Cusco out. Because as we know, that Cusco can shift in this deck. And we know that for a while, DKP is only going to be deploying 1 character at a time, making that Cusco more valuable than ever. So now he is getting everything he wants. So if I was DKP, I would start sweating a little bit now that I see this board state that Thiago was able to do in his first few turns.
I'm listening to the wizard. I'm going to do my best to do this on the fly, and hopefully he is correct and he's the best, as per usual.
Help me, wizard. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Honestly, if anybody, I think
I love a Webby. I love a llama. Hilariously, the llama doesn't do anything this turn, so we might just play the Donald and be like, yeah, whatever, we'll just draw more cards. It's cool.
Yeah, right. And it's kind of tricky, right? Because DKP at this point knows about the shift line, so he can kind of dance around it a little bit. But it's tricky for him to deploy more than 1 character a turn in this kind of deck. So he is going to be able to play, let's see here. nothing yet. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's kind of dancing around each other and being like, I'm not gonna let you do the thing that you want to do, but unfortunately, you do need to quest to win this game. So the longer he puts off getting characters on board, the more that Thiago can just kind of develop the answers he needs to deal with one character at a time on the other side of the board.
Yeah, as you can see, we're getting our ink. Webby doing all of the Webby things that all of our Webby enjoyers out there are definitely in love with, right? That's what you're playing this card for in these matchups, to get this ink and say, hey, man, you can play actions that give you stuff. I'm just going to quest for 2 and get the same thing. You got to love that.
And here we go. Like you said, not time for that llama yet, so he will go ahead and just get a quest in saying, hey, worst case scenario, I mean, you don't have a rush or anything like that, so I'm not too scared. I'll go ahead and get my lore while I have the chance. And so with that, he has 6 ink, 7 lore, and is saying, go on DKP, what do you got over there?
Yeah, I mean, think about this for a second. If DKP plays into this Cusco, I mean, it is going to be a really tough thing to come back from, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things of you have to make him have it, but I mean,
even if you look at this hand, though, he can't. Can he even do it? Like, if he plays Goliath here, he has to discard 2 cards.
Yeah.
That doesn't even feel very good.
So I feel like he's probably gonna. I mean, he can play the full 4 for Zeus and just go ahead and target Cusco. But then right next turn he'll be able to play Cusco.
Yeah,
just normal. So yeah, this is just.
I'm pretty sure Cusco is on play, not on shift, right? I think he doesn't have the bad text.
The bad text, yeah. So it's Cusco is when this character, or when you play this character. So
okay.
yeah.
All right. As long as it's not when you played if it shifted, we're good.
yeah. Though if it shifted, but in this case, yeah, it's no matter what, this is going to happen to you. So he can sustain or go ahead and prolong the inevitable by just not playing characters, but that is something you want to do in Disney Lorcana, is play characters. So it's kind of interesting watching DKP dance around that card.
Well, even here, like we're considering, do we ramp again? If so, right now, I'm pretty confident that Thiago is ahead of him on ink, and DKP has played 2 ramp cards, so doesn't feel great. Bad positioning here for sure.
Here we go. So as he goes ahead and plays this sail, he gets a little bit more ability to go ahead and ramp further, and he still can pay that full 4 cost for that Zeus, and we're about to see it here. And we are going to Zeus on to, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, you can't
Llama.
banish Donald. You do not have a Tinkerbell in hand, which would have been interesting if you wanted to Zeus the perfect gentleman instead, and say, all right, I'll just play I'll play my Tink next turn, it'll be fine. But here's the other thing: if there was a bend to my will this turn, the game would definitely be like curtains. So if he finds that the next 2 cards, it's gonna be a bit scary.
It will, and he did not, because that was, it is tricky too, because Bend to My Will is one of those cards that when it's good, you're like, wow, but when it's not, it is a 7 cost uninkable card that is not helpful at all. So it's one of those things where it is a absolute polarizing card. So in this case, he does not have it, so we don't have to worry about it, but he does have lots of other mischievous little things here. So Thiago has been able to keep the pressure on, and he has 4 lore on board again. So I mean, he can go ahead and quest up to 11 this turn. So yeah, I mean, I think DKP has to respond very swiftly if he wants to stay in this game. And he's going to You're Welcome himself to go ahead and get 2 cards off of that little 1 cost Webby.
Yeah, interesting line there. I guess he just feels that he needs particular things to kind of keep the game moving forward. To me, a Prince Philip, a small Prince Philip would be pretty sweet. Finding a Clarabelle is probably fine, okay, but I don't know. Interesting what Thiago is looking for on that turn.
Yeah, and I think he's Thiago. Thiago wants his little combo pieces here, and yeah, now he has the Prince Philip, which is perfection here.
I'm not sure if that is true. If that ink is good, I'll just check in real quick. Hey Elle, if you can just confirm that ink on top. I think they're the matching inkwell. I'm not positive though.
Can you say that one more time?
Let's see here. Oh, so was he
Webby quested, and I think they have the same ink, so I don't think he should get the ink for it. But it's hard for me to tell.
Okay, 1 moment.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We're gonna let Elle do her thing. I could be wrong, but it's tough to say if we're not keeping up with markers. I was just making sure, really. But yeah.
So He
So
does go ahead and get that one. I think that brings him up to 7. So he was at 6, and then it
okay.
brought him up.
It's tough to say because obviously we can't see the inkwell. They're not on camera. The numbers
Yes.
could be wrong. Like, there's a lot of things that could be wrong. So I just wanted to make sure we didn't get an extra ink if we weren't supposed to.
And she is going to do. Ellie is one of the best in the business. Which,
Love
I
her.
mean, honestly, all the LCCC judges are spectacular, and I love them very much. So we'll go ahead and do a check here. But if that is true, either way, he went ahead and played a Prince Philip, setting up that pressure, saying, "Listen, you don't know what I have and what I don't have, and I'll probably be able to get a malicious, mean, and scary. And if he can, now that being said." Notably, DKP has not played a character yet, so it's just kind of interesting that he's been putting it off for a while, and now we know. I mean, between the
Okay,
potential
we're all
of a
good.
malicious, mean, and scary, the Cusco, and then also Mother Knows Best, it's kind of a rough time to be DKP playing one character at a time.
Sounds good. Thank you, Judge. You're the best. Yeah, so it's funny because you look at the hands now, and I see a headless horseman, and I think we're just gonna get to do it again.
Yeah. He can't keep getting away with it, but he probably will. But we do have 2 warded characters, so I mean, it is one of those situations again where he is truly doing a headless
Oh
horseman.
my goodness, he drew an uninkable. He can't even play the horseman.
That is brutality incarnate here. So
Oh, that's painful.
yeah, the uninkables clump together, and so that definitely helps keep the pressure. So he slaps down the Hades, which can only target one thing here, and that is the Donald Duck Perfect Gentleman. And I don't know, maybe that Hades.
Good news. Webby can't rep next turn. So
Yeah, finally, Webby, do what you must for you. You cannot scare me anymore.
oh, you can see the frustration there on DKP. Pick up the hand and shuffling. It's just not the card he needed that turn. He really needed an inkable. He wanted to play the headless horseman to do some disruption. Tough turn.
Yeah, that was definitely not what he wanted, because now we will see the power of having one character on the board at a time. Will he deploy that Cusco? It's probably Cusco
Yeah, I can't imagine a reason not to.
yeah, look at the face on that Cusco. That Cusco
Yeah.
has been wanting to do this for a while now, and it makes the choice quite easy with one character on the board, which is something that we've seen DKP dance around. We saw him since literally that Cusco landed on the board on turn 2.
Yeah.
He's known that this is a possibility, and now he can quest free and clear. He gets a total, because with that ward, there's not really any. Yeah, I mean, it's just things are going very well for Thiago this game.
Yeah, big true. I mean, hey, listen, we kind of saw both sides of it in this matchup. All the things that can happen and go differently and wrong, but now it's really is starting to go up. You're like, just letting that Cusco hit play, getting rid of the Hades, removing, just even the ability to sing Beyond the Horizon, if that were to happen. Just a lot of things that happen now, and you can see the hand. This is great because you get to, disrupt it, but there's 2 Prince Philips in there. There's 2 Mother's Knows Best. Hopefully we get 3 cards and we just get to banish the Cusco, but none of it feels great. Would have been better last turn.
I know, right? Now it's kind of like, well, it's fun, but is it going to win the game? We'll see. Time will tell. And the answer is, it's not looking great. We got 1 here of action, and now Thiago to see what he. Oh my gosh, that's so many cards.
Pick out my 3 cards again. Thank you.
Yeah, between your welcome and Headless Horseman, this is a very, very chaotic matchup.
Yeah.
So here we go. 1, 2,
right.
double your welcome. So a total of 6.
Well, the good news is we get to banish Cusco. That's cool.
Good. That's what you get, Cusco. You hurt me, I hurt you. Is it enough? Because now he still has 4 on board, which he is able to get up to 17 next turn. So
I can count 3 different things that we can do this turn that are all really mean and powerful, and he just did the first one. Like, he doesn't even need the malicious, mean, and scary. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'll just sing. I'll just quest, gain my lore, and then present check, which is I'm a big fan of. He just has 6 lore in play, and now DKP is going to have to answer that. And it's not fun. It's not going to be easy for DKP whatsoever.
no, I mean, we've seen both players have their deck treat them kindly and not treat them kindly, and this is definitely one where DKP's deck, with that uninkability situation, that was not what we wanted to see. And then Thiago has drawn the cards he needs to keep the pressure on the entire game. So this is definitely one where, I mean, green, purple, or as Emerald Amethyst was definitely something that's favored in this matchup. But I mean, we can see why. The momentum shifts just so widely and so firmly.
Yeah, I mean the big deal here, right, is if he doesn't hit 3 actions, the game is just over, and it looks like he missed his own action, and he had 2 of them. So this has to be 3 actions from Thiago to banish the Clarabelle, or the game just ends on the spot.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen a few actions already. This is the second horseman, and he got 2 You're Welcomes last time. So it's statistically unlikely that there will be 3 actions here. But it is all on this, and it
And
was
I see just
what?
1. So yeah, that's going to be, I'm pretty sure that's going to be it.
Yeah, and what a brutal matchup here of these 2 in colors, but we'll have the ability to interview them, I think, right?
Yes, they're going to join us. So I come to our screen for a second. We'll go over to here. Katie, when we do transition, make sure you mute your video for me for a moment, so we're not overlapping each other. All right.
Okay, give me the producer's heads up, and I'll switch
I will.
my
We'll
muting.
see when they join us.
That's true, right? We'll be able to see that. I guess that's a good point, Dan, that we will be able to see the fact that they are there. And here we go. Okay, we're almost there. We got 50% of the combo here.
I have to also mute myself so I don't deafen you. All right, I'm going to mute there. Go to Discord. Pow.
All right.
All right, there's that. We'll come over here. I can hear, hopefully, Katie. Oh, wait, I muted Katie earlier. There you go, Katie. You're unmuted. I got you back. We're good.
Perfect. And we have Thiago. We're waiting on DKP. I am such a fan of Thiago's Discord icon. You guys can't see it, but scrappy little dinosaur. And scrappy little dinosaur, you were doing the Brainiac deck. Thiago, while we're waiting for DKP to join, do you know why it is called Brainiac?
Hello.
All right, DKP's here. We got everybody.
The gang's all here, everyone.
All right, Thiago, if you don't know, you're muted, but that's okay. We'll start with DKP. DKP, this one looked real tough. Walk me through that game 3, and honestly, particularly how frustrated it was to draw that uninkable in the turn that I think you really wanted the inkable at the end there to play the Headless Horseman. Tough showing.
Yeah, I mean, if people know this matchup, they already know that this is probably unwinnable. Only winnable if your opponent just misses stuff. Like Thiago misses Webby against me on game 2, and I was on the play, so that also helped.
Yeah.
But else, this matchup is pretty much unwinnable. Yeah, I like. No, I didn't felt anything when I drew the 1 jump. There's an interesting thing going on for us in the team is that I'm trying to not play 1 jump. And Frank, of course, tries to convince me to play 1 jump.
Sure.
And in game 2, unfortunately, it saved me.
Yep.
No.
So I was like, no, not like this. I was actually frustrated.
Frank
that-
somewhere just got the whisper in his head. He's like, oh, DKP owes you a thank you.
Yeah, but and now we also saw what bothers me about 1 jump. Sometimes it's like the top deck 1 jump. Exactly when you always need to ink up is always really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, what can you do against it? And yeah, for my build, I just ran my CCQ build,
Yep.
which wasn't built to beat green purple at all because I was like, you know what, green purple is such a rare deck. Why
1%,
tech
right?
against it?
Yeah, it's the 1%.
You can definitely tech against it to make the matchup easier or at least give you a chance to win, but right now I didn't, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think
guess,
it's one of those decks that.
Oh, we lost Katie over here. It's okay. We're going to put your screens on. Katie, you there? We lost her, I think. Oh, no. All right, we'll go to the screens. I will say, before I pass to Thiago, can you talk to me about the Headless Horseman in this matchup? Because I think in game 2, that was it, right? Like, that was the card that changed everything in game 2 for you.
Yeah, so Headless Horseman is only in the deck for the Prince Philip combo, else I wouldn't even run it.
Yeah.
You can run better stuff. But yeah, it's only in there for the Prince Philip. You just want to disrupt their hand, and you always want.
Is our Discord crashing? Oh no.
Are you aware that stream died?
It just died?
Yeah, it's completely dead.
Did the internet go out?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think the internet went out.
Okay. I
It
couldn't
did.
figure that out, but stream died.
The internet went out. Womp womp. Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Let's see. Did we make it back?
Always
like
fun.
you said. But
I
sometimes
think-
you're like, oh my gosh, 12 damage.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. My internet went out. That's cool. So I missed you guys
did the
there.
stream?
Yeah, I think the stream did die. I'm not sure if it's coming back. I'm checking. But yeah, I saw Katie leave, and it was weird because I could still hear DKP. And then, like, all of a sudden, everything went boom. And I'm like, oh, no. Did we come back? Did we make it back? I don't even know. Someone will have to tell us. I'm not sure. But I'm sorry that I missed you that, DKP. I bet you told us all the greatest story ever. And thank you. And I'm sorry that it died.
All good, all good. I have to leave either way, so
Okay. Well, thank
if
you
you
so
have
much.
nothing else, ask me.
I have one question. Just pitch your charity. So if the stream is back, I will talk more about it. So just real quick,
Bro,
talk about the charity.
I just clicked on. I didn't know what charity, so I just looked it up.
All right, that's fine. Fair enough.
Something-
Thank you. Thank you. You're the best. We'll see.
That's it.
I hope that there's still a chat going, so I can't tell if we're not. But thank you so much, DKP. Let's let Katie get into some Thiago questions here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
See ya, guys.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye.
so Thiago,
Bye-bye.
we know you and love you as an Amethyst Steel player, but you said Steel, get out of here. Emerald, get in. So share a little bit of why you went ahead and picked this color combination for this matchup. Or, well, not this matchup, but for this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, since set 10's come out, I've been just trying a bunch of things, and this was one of the decks that I like first picked up in the set, and I thought it was super strong, but ultimately, like, as the meta sort of developed, I think it's like not super well positioned into a lot of the decks people are electing to play now. But I thought in a tournament like this, since it's like a very small amount of players and you kind of know what a lot of people like the kind of decks that they tend to gravitate towards, I thought that a deck like this that has like a pretty polarized matchup spread would be able to kind of take advantage of what I thought a lot of people would be bringing. And I think it was on display in this match, right? Like, I think from just deckless submission, I was at a huge advantage. Like, I was very overwhelmed with everything that was going on. I don't think I played the game particularly well, but I'm just at like such an advantage just due to the matchup. And I think that like it took me getting like 5 combo pieces or something discarded in the second game to lose, which was like when I was like already not playing the game well. So like I think I was just like completely carried by my deck.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We could see you. There was a point in time where I had to double check with Ellie that the stream didn't freeze because you were just in such a train of thought. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, there's so many decision points here that I want to make sure that he's just thinking and the stream didn't freeze because I wasn't positive.
Yeah. It's like a deck I'm not super used to playing, and then like I should have practiced like playing webcam games before. It was like the first time I played one, so I was like very overwhelmed with like all of that stuff too. I was like trying to make out what was happening on his board and whatever. So yeah, I'm happy to get the win done. I'll practice some more webcam games, and I'll be better for next week for sure.
Yeah, listen, I need the practice also. I'm with you, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
All in all, I guess your thoughts on Brainiac the deck, period. You know, like this is like you said, you brought it to this event for specific reasons, but like how do you feel about this in like the overall metagame?
Yeah, I think it can be tricky. I think like you don't love your purple steel matchup, which is the most popular deck. I think if you know you're playing against a lot of these slow blue decks, it's like by far the best deck in the game. Like everything you do is so strong against them. You have the Webby shifts, like your Chromacon dominates them, Bend to My Will dominates them. Like if in the first game I had everything come together, so I like had the Webby shift, and then I had the Chromacon, so I had a giant hand, and then I'm like singing Mother Knows Best and playing Bend to My Will to make him discard 1 billion cards on the I don't know, like the 6th turn of the game or something, 5th turn. Like it was just everything came together, and then it was like on full display, like why it's super strong. So I think if in this tournament, like the list I submitted is like really not super strong into some super aggressive decks. That's why yesterday I was joking on the podcast, like the person I'm like most scared to play against is Spessy, because like he's when I was going through everybody what decks they're gonna bring, I'm like Spessy's gonna bring some like super aggressive deck that's just gonna completely stop me in 4 turns while I'm just like playing a Chromacon and drawing him cards. So, but I think overall like people in this tournament are going to be much more skewed towards slower decks. And we even saw like in the first round, Ed was playing against Minato, who's playing Purple Steel, which is like historically not a great matchup, but even his version's like super, super slow. So I think if people are playing versions like that, then Brainiac still has like a really good chance into them. So it was mostly just like if you know a lot of people are going to bring a lot of slow decks and people are not going to bring a ton of fast decks, and you can either just like take your losses against the fast decks or, you know, just try to avoid them, then the deck is like really, really strong and the matchups is strong.
Yeah, I will say, because we don't have access to the deck list, so this morning when Pavel just pinged me yours and DKP's, I was quite excited because I was like, all right, this is cool. We've seen 8 decks now, and they're all pretty much different, which I think is great for the viewership. It's also going to give some creativity over the next few weeks. So I think that the Emerald decks, you know, it's kind of why I played an Emerald deck. You have so many good choices that you can, you know, mix and match. So it'll be cool to see how the decks develop over the next several weeks for sure.
Yeah.
Katie, any final questions for our friend here?
No, I mean, I think we went over DKP's charity, which he said he Googled and picked right before the tournament. But Thiago, do you have any information on why you picked your charity?
Yeah, so the charity I chose is the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. They give medical care to a lot of injured and ill children. I first heard about them because they have their treatment abroad program, which they are able to send out children to other countries to get the medical care that they need when they're not able to get that in their homeland. So they've also like established pediatric cancer departments in Palestine and like a PICU and the pediatric cardiology department in Ramallah. And so they're doing a lot of great work for somewhere that's in a pretty difficult time. So yeah, super happy that we get this opportunity to support these charities, and yeah, hopefully everyone can check them out.
I love that. And I mean, with this win, you are one closer to, like, if people just tuning in, there's $5,000 on the line to the winner's charity. So very exciting.
Perfect. My final question for you, was it fun to do the teammate clash in round 1?
Yeah, it's kind of unlucky, right? Like there's I was like more likely to play against like
Podcast member?
Yeah, the podcast, whatever. There's like the only European from my team that's in the tournament is DKP. So I like 1-8'd him the first round, but like obviously it's a super tricky matchup playing against the world champion, but the decks I think were big advantage to me. So I didn't mind too much seeing that one at first because I imagined he would be on Blue Steel.
Yeah, I had a fun comment to start the stream that you are qualified for EUCC and he is qualified for NACC. So it's just fun to see, you know, how successful you guys are in the game and how you're able to travel and still find success. And, you know, both of you played very well in the first 2 DLCs, able to get, you know, good finishes each day. So huge shout out to you guys. And yeah, lastly, this is going to be it. It's going to be the end of this round, but there's another round coming up tonight. I believe it's the 3 p.m. game. Maybe Ellie can
it's the
confirm that.
Podcast show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my podcast co-hosts.
There we go.
Yeah,
So
I love it. All of Podcast, they say, get on in here. So it's not Bivens, it is Kawa versus Sky. So
I love
very,
that.
very fun. And one of them gets kicked off, right? That's how you guys are
Yep,
doing it?
loser is out.
Yeah.
Well,
very
actually, no matter what the result is, Sky's kicked out because Kawa runs the show. So
smart, honestly fair. And that is, I mean, democracy does only works if it's fair from the top. But
I do apologize. I did turn Katie all the way up. Stream is saying that you're quiet now. We switched audios, and I tried my best. I'm sorry, Katie.
yeah, it was all on live. This is live television, folks. Folks, this is all live. But
It is live.
hey, shout out to Dan for putting this together last minute. That is no small feat. So thank you, Dan, for doing that.
We're more
because
prepared for
I
next
wasn't-
time, but that's good.
I wasn't stressed. I was like, he's got it, guys. Don't worry. But also shout out to Thiago and DKP. DKP is ready to go have a night. Thiago is ready to either wake up or go to bed. I don't know. Thiago has a mysterious sleep schedule, so who knows?
I did wake up nice and early today, so I got a full day ahead of me.
Nice.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're going to Thiago. If last shout out before I let you go before we close it off.
Yeah. Thanks to my team. Thanks to Pavel for putting on this tournament. Thanks to you guys for running the show, and shout out to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund.
Perfect. Love that. All right, Katie, we'll go back to the other thing because they can hear you better. So mute
Perfect,
up,
okay.
mute here, and we'll finish there. Pow pow. All right, can you hear me?
I'm back.
All right, perfect.
Now, but maybe I'm blasting out everyone's ears. But thank you so much, Dan. This was a delightful way to start the day. If you're going to start your day, start it with casting some top shelf level Lorcana with a top shelf player.
Yeah, I agree. It's a big deal. Nice to see this again, Pavel. This is our third season, I believe. It's really fun to see some of the best players in the game, some of the more known players in the game kind of get together and clash it out. I know for me, the reason I accepted playing it was just the
It's time for
ability,
me to go to work.
just the ability to play some of these players that I've never had
Enjoy.
the opportunity to, you know? So
Thanks
Yeah.
for coming to hang out.
It's very, very fun, and it's fun to watch. And so the
Yay.
person who's eating the
Always
best
fun.
is the viewers, and we are eating very good. And like we said, one more match coming. I believe it is at 3 p.m. Eastern, and that is going to be Kawa versus Sky. So we have a Podcana showdown of. And if you guys are wondering, NA is undefeated. They are
Yeah.
undefeated in the LCCC. They're undefeated so far. So no pressure, Sky, but you have to do this for all of America.
yeah, no pressure at all. But Sky's a great
Yeah.
player. It should be a good matchup. And then, of course, tomorrow, the only other scheduled one is tomorrow at 4 p.m., which is Baker versus
Yes.
Givens. And I
Very
am
fun.
so upset that I'm like attending a convention this weekend, and I am not going to watch that live. But I won't lie, I'm rooting for Baker because I need TFM versus Baker in this tournament to happen. So I got to root for Baker at this point, me being up 1-0. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Villain Club showdown. They were on a team together. I love this. There's so much plot in the LCC this
Yes, there
season.
is.
So,
Should be
well,
fun.
thank you so much. We will let the viewers and you resume your normal schedule, but this has
Any
been
shout
a
outs for
pleasure.
you, Katie, before we get out of here?
Yeah, shout out, like you said, to you, the judges, the players, and viewers like you for being here. So,
Perfect. We're gonna pay it forward. We're gonna look for someone to raid. Hopefully, we got.
I think
Wonder,
Luke
we
started
got the
cheering, right?
wizard.
The wizard.
Sending it right on to him. Go hang out with the dad, the stay-at-home dad at home. We don't know when he's playing yet. What's going on? Why don't we know?
Yeah, everybody ask him. Pressure him.
Yeah,
That's how this
pressure him.
works.
This raid goes right to him. Just everyone goes, win your match. I want to know.
Yes. One match. One match. Play, please.
All right. See you guys later. All right. I'm hoping that I end this and it's fine, but I don't know the answer.
I know. I love it when people think their stream is over and you just see the face of just like, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you're so. JDZ did that yesterday where he ended his stream and his face just dropped of like,